Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham On Tour.
Okay, hope you've done whatever you can to drown out last week's misery, because you're about to get some more of it. It's the sad truth, but it's the truth nonetheless, and it needs to be addressed. So after that defeat to Wolves, a lot of Tottenham fans started asking themselves, why did we get ourselves into this position yet again? How did we get here? And most importantly, what can we take away from these two games, and what can we learn? If the team still have the ability to do that, of course. So that's what I've decided to do for this video. I'm going to run through 5 things that I've either learned or noticed in that Wolves game, and I'm going to share them with you and basically try and figure out where we went wrong, and is there any way we can improve on these mistakes going forward. So one of the major things I've noticed recently are that players who had been appalling underneath managers such as Jose, Poch, Nuno, and even Ryan Mason, though he was here for a short time, they were crap underneath all those managers. But then when Conte came in, they started to improve. The Conte effect, as we were calling it. But now, all of a sudden, just like that, straight after Brighton, they've gone back to their old form. 3 names that instantly come to mind here are Davis, Winks, and Sanchez. All 3 of these lads, before Conte came in, I would have shipped out the door instantly, along with the deadwood that we got rid of in January. But when Conte did come in, and he started working that beautiful Conte effect that he always does work, he reinvigorated these players. Or at least it looked like he was reinvigorating them, because they started to show significant signs of improvement in every game they were in. I mean, I had given up all hope of for Winks and Davis, but to be fair to them, they threw in a couple of half-decent to very good performances against teams that, in all honesty, I wouldn't have expected them to even start. Never mind put off a good performance. The decline these players have been on since Brighton has been shocking. Like, usually in football, it takes a player a few games to start, dropping off a bit, and then just, lying flatline, just giving bad performances. These 3 in particular, along with some others, have just gone from good to bad in a snap, in a heartbeat. It makes no sense. Why all of a sudden would you why all of a sudden would you put in such a good performance and such a heartfelt performance for the team against Brighton in the FA Cup, but then not do it in the Premier League when we're supposed to be fighting for top 4? The second point I want to get onto is something that we have been complaining about, and rightfully so, for weeks on end now, and that's our absolutely shambolic defence. They've all just lost their momentum, except for maybe Romero, but even he looks a bit off sometimes in these games, and I don't know why. It makes no sense. Since Brighton, they've just completely gone down the drain, and that was an inspiring performance against that team. But it's the same defence that played against Brighton in the FA Cup is what I don't get. How can the same players go from so good and so consistent in one game to being so poor, and all of a sudden letting in 5 goals in the span of less than a week? One major thing I've noticed there, and this actually brings me on to my third point, is that now, there can be very little argument about this, in my opinion. Right wing back is a priority, if not the top priority position to get players in the summer transfer window. Royale had a poor game against Southampton. Him, along with Sanchez and some of the others, had an absolute disaster class. And as a result of that, some fans, like myself, wanted Doherty to come in. Now, my argument was that we hadn't seen enough of him under Conte, and when we had, he had shown ever so slight signs of improvement. And I thought, you know what, let's just give him an actual full game to see where he's at, and if he has a good game, then he can get some momentum under his belt and, drive on from there. But of course, even in that sense, we can't win. We just can't win at all. To say he had a disastrous game is a freaking understatement. In fact, I'd go as far to say it was a complete clusterfuck. His passing was off, defending sloppy as always, and he couldn't get the ball off any players. From what I saw anyway, he couldn't even do that. Again, going back to the basics. We go on about the basics of football for when we're talking about the midfielders and even our strikers when they're having a poor game. What about the basics of defending? Just do your damn job, man. Get the ball off players and pass to the midfielders, or even those who are looking for the ball, and just do it right. Passing the ball is one of the most basic things you can do in football. It's quite obvious to me, at least, that these two are as bad as each other, and we need someone in that position to improve it massively. We even might need a backup for that person, whoever he is. I mean, either way, the cold reality of the situation is that we have to put up with these players for, was it 4 more months even, until we can get them out, or even just get someone who can actually play in that position competently in the summer. We have to wait till then. Teams are going to look at us now and say, right wing back. They have these two absolute clowns. Go down that line and we can beat these guys easily. That's what they're going to think, because that now, in my opinion, is our main weakness. I think maybe there's hope for Sanchez to improve and get back to the form he was, pre-Southampton. But in all honesty, I really have no hope for right wing back at all. Point number 4, and this is by far the hardest point to take. Top 4 and any hope that we have going for it is a pipe dream. I'm sorry, but that's just the sad reality of it. The truth hurts, and this hurts a lot. This truth does hurt a lot. How can this team, in its current state, get top 4? Like, genuinely, I'm curious. Like, I want to know. If any of you experienced fans who believe that we can get top 4 with this team, please put your reasoning in the comment section below, because I can't see it. I just can't see any possibility of this team can get top 4, get Champions League football. And say, because let's be honest, the other teams around us sometimes are as bad as we are. And they didn't spend like close to anything in the January transfer window. But even if we were to get Champions League for that reason, yeah, how do you think we'd do in it with the squad in its current state? We'd get battered week in and week out. There's no way in hell that this squad would have come even close to the one that got us to the Champions League final. And remember, the cracks the cracks were beginning to show back then under Poch as well, because we were doing shit in the league, but we were doing great in the Champions League because we had basically focused all our efforts into that. That paid off well, didn't it? To be honest, I think the best this squad can finish this season is 5th. And given its current state, I think that would be a fantastic achievement for both the club itself and Antonio Conte. Getting these players and getting that defence to 5th place and to a Europa League spot would be great. But my God, I do not want another season of Conference League embarrassment. Please. Now, speaking of Antonio Conte, and this actually brings me on to my 5th point. I know he's made some mistakes, but for the love of God, the man is human. And what he has done so far since he's come in has been incredible. He took a team that were looking mid-table to even relegation under Nuno Espirito Santo, who, might I add, was so out of his depth, it was ridiculous. He took that squad and basically improved it to the point where we're now challenging for a European spot. And even the mistakes he has made have been minor. And also, he's tried to correct them. For example, when I first saw the lineup against Wolves, I was like, okay, why start Winks over Højbjerg? Why start Sessegnon over Reguilon? Things like that were running through my mind. I was like, maybe he's trying to rest them for City. But if I'm not mistaken, we're playing City like a whole 7 days after that game. So what's the point in that? It's not like we have another game, another thing where we're playing a team on Wednesday and then playing them again at the weekend. If that had been the case, I would have been like, okay, fine, fair enough. I can absolutely see a reason there. But when the system didn't work and when the lineup was failing miserably and it cost us 2 goals in less than 20 minutes, he almost immediately tried to change up the system. He brought on Kulusevski for Sessegnon, which is the start of it. But of course, the players, being themselves, didn't perform, and ultimately it made no difference. Like, how is that his fault? He's not on the pitch. He's not playing anymore. Like, his playing days are long gone. What's he going to do? Come out of retirement and be okay, I'll just come on and score 3 goals and then it'll be game over. No, that's not how it works. He's doing his best. He can only do so much with these players and take them so far. But one thing I will criticize him for is that 3-4-3 formation. I've never liked that formation, and I definitely don't prefer it over the 5-3-2. So I'm going to end this video off by saying thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're watching this on Tottenham On Tour, please, if you can, donate to our GoFundMe link, which is currently raising money for mental health charities. And I'll get it up here. If you can donate, this is the link. Just copy and paste it into your browser. And there you go. It's easy to donate. But if you can't, like I always say, it's no problem at all. And also, huge big up and a massive thanks to everyone who has so far donated. You're all legends. As I always say, it's fantastic. So, yeah, those are 5 pretty depressing facts, but unfortunately, they're true. And they're things that we need to overcome and that we have to sort out by Sunday. I mean, most fans are hoping for just a 2-0 defeat just because it won't be 5-0 or 6-0. Like, that is depressing. That's not what we should be. That's not what that crest back there should stand for. I mean, we all know who's at fault, but you know what? I'm like a broken record mentioning them, so I just can't be bothered, to be honest. So all I can say is thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe as always. And, even though it kind of pains me to say it, come on, you Spurs, and leave you out. It doesn't pain me to say that.
Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham On Tour.